Hey, what's up? This is Robin Adams, the co-founder of Footprint TV Network, which was recently acquired by Aru Brothers Studios and Ozzy Aru, the former president of Tyler Perry Studios. You are watching Amplified Exposure Live with Teresa B. Keep it locked. Don't turn it off. Ever.
Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond. Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond.
What's up? Facebook Live, Roku Live, all the way live, wherever you're live. This is your girl, Teresa B, coming to you live and direct from Amplified Exposure Live. Today, I have my wonderful guest, Mr. Roderick Vaughn King. He is one of the hottest authors out here right now. He came on my show today, not just because he's dope with that pen, but he's also here because he likes me. So for those of you that are out there in La La Land, TV Land, Wonderland, whatever land you're in, we're going to have a great show. How you doing today, Mr. King?
Doing great. Wonderful to be on the show.
For everybody out there, y'all already know I'm goofy. Mr. King don't know I'm goofy yet, but he about to see how goofy I really am during this interview. I'm so glad to have you on my show today. I've heard so many wonderful things about your book. I just want to get right into it because you have a story to tell, right?
Yes.
So, do you have a copy of your book by any chance?
It is outside in the car.
Mr. King, you supposed to hand the books and you can put it up for the peoples.
Okay.
Maybe next time. But tell us how you got started. First of all, what do you do as a career, as a profession? And then tell us how you got started as a writer.
Okay. First of all, I am an aerospace engineer. I have a master's degree in computer science and a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I've also have an independent record label, and I've been playing music basically since the 4th grade all the way up through college. And I went to Loyola Marymount University and actually had music classes all the way up through graduation at Loyola. So basically, I've been playing music from the 4th grade all the way up through college. And I'm from Vallejo, California, and you may have heard of a band called Confunction.
Yeah.
And so one of the members of Confunction, Danny Thomas, he and I grew up in the same area. So we played music together in elementary school, junior high school, and high school. And then Confunction went on the road and I went to college, so I've been doing that. And then I started the independent record label and put some, independent projects out and concentrated primarily on the contemporary Christian gospel market and put a few projects out there. And they were, few and far between as I was, still in my engineering career. So then how the writing started, because I was a songwriter, I always had an opportunity to put stories together and put them to music. But how this particular book came about is a friend of mine, his wife was a very avid reader, and she challenged me one day. She says, "Hey, because they say that I'm a good storyteller because I have a cousin that was in the music business by the name of Gordon D. Whitty. He has since passed, but he was a blind keyboard player and producer. If you know the song Rufus and Shaka Khan, Sweet Thing, that's my cousin playing keyboard on that. He's playing organ on the Natural High song by Bloodstone. And he produced Johnny Nash and played with Bobby Womack, was his band leader for a while, and Sly Stone. And matter of fact, Sly Stone is from Vallejo as well, on my hometown. So I've had that connection to the music business being through my cousin. And so then I would tell all these stories because I was able to go all these different places because my cousin was sightless. So, but I wasn't able to bring any of my friends. So I'm telling them all these stories about Sly and Bobby Womack and Bill Withers and Shaka and all these different things that I'm doing, but I couldn't take anybody with me. So they said that I was a good storyteller. And so Angela Jones, that was her name, she said, I want you to write a book, but I want you to write a book about like romance and talk about the good brothers in terms of, you know, guys that were dogs, you know, as opposed to guys that were dogs. Talk about the good brothers and give us some of that type of story and give us some background. So I went to a seminar up at UCLA one day, and John Grisham was the keynote speaker. And John Grisham asked the audience, did they know what profession he was in? And then somebody said, hey, yeah, you're a lawyer. He says, yeah, so what are my movies and my books about? And they said law. He says, okay. He said, write what you know. So that was one of the first things that I took my little pen, you know, wrote my little notes down. And then another thing he said was writing is not about writing, but it's about rewriting. So I said, okay. So I went ahead and did that. So I was trying to look at the topic that I was going to write about. And a friend of mine had written a song called Why Didn't We Love? So Why Didn't We Love is the name of the book. So what that song is about him meeting a young lady early in life, and then they don't hook up, but then they meet again, maybe like 15 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And then the vibe was even stronger than it was the first time they hooked up, but now it's complications. Marriage, husbands, girlfriends, wives, kids. So it's a lot of different things, but that's what that song was about. So before I started writing, I went out and conducted some interviews, talking to male and female folks and asking them about that particular concept, you know. And then as I was talking to people, I found out it was more of a universal subject matter, as people were saying, that's my story. That's my story. And I was like, wow. So I said, okay. Then I said, well, I got a story like that myself. So that's how Why Didn't We Love? The topic was born. So then as I started writing, I started bringing in little vignettes of things. Like I belonged to the National Brotherhood of Skiers, the NBS. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So that's a national Black ski organization.
Okay.
That was started in 1973. And at the height of it, you have a summit that they have every year and a mini summit on the following year. And there's it used to be like about 5,000 Black folks on a mountain together for a week of skiing. And I thought it was an amazing thing. So I did a chapter about the NBS in the context of the story. Because I lived in Utah for a while because I got transferred up to Hill Air Force Base in Utah, and I lived up there for about 11 years. So I became president of the Utah Club. So I had a lot of experience in being involved with the summit. So I wanted to, if anybody has never heard of it, I wanted to give you like a little vignette of what it was like to go to the summit. And so I took other little vignettes like that, and I just strung them together, all in the context of a love story.
Okay, so let's pause right there. So we got this love story, and we have a man and a woman. What are the characters' names?
Okay, the main male character is Bobby Vale, and then the main female character is Monica Devereaux. But then after Monica and Bobby kind of don't make it in the beginning, then another woman enters the scene, and her name is KK, and it's Kathleen Keaton that goes by KK. So those are the main three characters.
You know what, Mr. King? There's always a KK. There is always a KK. We so tired of KK coming in messing up stuff. Like
okay.
So KK comes in, and does she destroy the connection that they have? Like, give us a
Well,
little hint.
no, she didn't destroy the connection because she came in after the initial connection faded out.
Oh, okay.
So she came in, and then because of KK, now Monica want to get back in the picture because her situation went a certain way.
Okay. So KK was the rebound girl.
Yeah, I guess that would be the way to put it. Yeah.
It's always a KK.
I say always a KK.
Always a KK. KK around in every relationship. So I'm a writer myself, and I know that when I write, I tend to have these characters in my head all day, all night, can't get sleep. Did you have experience when you started writing these characters?
Yeah, because it's the book is fiction, but it's based on true experiences.
Okay.
And so I kind of modeled certain characters after people I knew.
Do they know
like
that?
Yeah, they know that.
Oh, okay.
You know, but I mean, it's not. I'm just saying because, like, okay, I went to college at Loyola Marymount University, like I said, and so my college roommate, you know, so I got a college roommate. You know, I kind of patterned that life in different friends that I had. So I kind of used their character type.
Okay.
And then and you always got a best friend, so I brought in different characters. Okay, well, let me get a guy that didn't go to college so I can bring that aspect in, and let me get this kind of guy and bring that kid. So, you know, so you kind of reflect back on your life and say, what type of different individuals did you grow up around and knew and so forth. So then I just wanted to bring those personality types into the story.
Right.
Just to broaden it and give it some more flavor.
So I know for myself, so they what they have is an outliner and a pantster. So a pantster is someone who writes at the seat of their pants. Are you an actual outliner or are you a pantster?
I think it's a combination because I did do some outline things, but then at the same time, because like the way that I do the storytelling when I'm, you know, coming from these events and functions that I've done with my cousin, then it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna think about that, talk about that. So then I got some things that I just fly right in.
Right.
So I would have to say it'll be a combination.
Okay. Yeah, because storytellers are they're like the best writers, right? Because you can not only write a novel, but that storytelling can also turn into a screenplay. Have you ever thought about maybe making this book into a movie?
I did. I have a first draft of a screenplay already done.
Oh, okay.
So yes, because I wrote it with that in mind.
So
and the other thing that I did too, now this is something that might be different from other authors as well, but one of the things that Angela Jones, that was a woman who challenged me to write the book, was she said, Yvonne, and write like you talk, because we love that. So I kind of threw that in there and write like I talk too. So I kind of got a lot of that in there.
Okay. So I don't know how you talk. How do you talk, Mr. King?
I mean, just in terms of the way that I'm explaining things and the way that I, you know, just from the maybe the first person or third person characteristic, and then just use the way that I tell the story.
Gotcha.
You know, so it's just
right. Right. So where is your friend that challenged you? Is she a writer or is she just somebody that's been cheering you on along the way?
Yeah, she's just a very avid reader. And she's in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
I personally now live in Fairfax, Virginia now, but I went to college in Los Angeles and I lived in LA for like 24 years. And then I got transferred and moved around because of the business. And then I transferred to Fairfax, Virginia in 2005. And then I came to Sacramento in 2007. And then I went back to Fairfax, Virginia in 2019.
Gotcha. So throughout your travel, have you met some KKs?
Oh, yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, where I got the name KK from was because my cousin had a girlfriend named KK. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna use that name. You know,
Well, that's okay. One thing I know for me, I switch characters around. So like it may be in real life a man, but then I switch it to a woman, and I have
hmm
not revealed to anyone who is who.
hmm
You, however, have told everybody that you are using them in your book.
not everybody, but just the close ones.
Just a
You know,
close
because
one.
they all knew what I was writing, and I was talking to them about it, so they was all involved in the process. You know,
Okay.
actually,
Well, good. That's good that they supported you. Now we have the book. We have a screenplay. Is there going to be like a part 2 to the book, or are you going to write pen a whole nother story? Because we don't want
uh,
to stop at just one book. You know that, right?
right. And I have okay, well, like it's interesting that you that you would ask that question because I'm actually working on 3 different screenplays right now. At the
Okay.
same time, I'm working on 3 different screenplays, and then I have an idea for a second book to follow this one, and it would bring it would there's a daughter that's involved in this, and so I was gonna name the next book the name of the daughter and bring the story from her eyes as she grows up. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
so
Okay.
that's one of the thoughts that I have for a
Okay.
follow on.
So how did you get into screenplay? Are you a professional screenplay writer?
I am not. I am not. I am a professional aerospace engineer, and and I have a record label. So I'm a songwriter and a record label and an aerospace engineer. That's
Okay.
my profession. And like I
Okay.
said, I got into writing because I wanted to tell these stories.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then the screenplay I got into because um, I wanted to see things on the screen, and it's not from a standpoint of ease, but it's the way that you write, and you
mhm.
don't have to do the same kinds of things when you write a book as when you write a screenplay. If
Absolutely.
so,
Mm-hmm.
for example, and I've talked to different people, and they were asking me, "Well, what's the difference?" and blah blah blah. So I said, "Well, one of the things is that I learned, 'cause like I say, I always go to seminars when I try to learn something, because that's the best place to go is learn from other people who've done it."
Right.
So one of the things I've learned about writing screenplays is that you don't say anything the camera can say. So in a book, you describe somebody's dress, you describe how they look and how they do this. Screenplay, you don't have to write none of that because the camera can tell you all of that. You don't have to say what time it is. You don't have to say what the room looked like because the camera can tell you that. So they say, don't say anything that the camera can say. What they're interested is in dialogue. And that's why I like screenplays. Oh, because you can really concentrate on the dialogue and
Mm.
not have to be descriptive. And she had on this purple dress with the pleats and the such and the skews and you don't have to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
You concentrate on the dialogue, and so that's what I like, and that's what gravitated me to screenplays.
Okay. So like in a book, they tell like Victoria Christopher Murray. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's a very well-known African-American author in the industry. And she trained me to edit.
hmm
Um, and one of the things that she told me in my class was just throw up on the paper. Do-
Okay.
don't do anything else but throw up on the paper, and then you go back. So I heard you say something about you did a second edit. Now, when you
hmm
did your second edit of the book, did you actually have a professional editor come in and kind of help you go through the process, or is this something
I
you did on your own?
okay. I did 21 edits on this book. 21 rewrites. Let's put it that way, because that's what Grisham said. Writing is not right about rewriting. But I
Right.
had I had a attorney that I used by the name of Bonnie Berry, and Bonnie went to Princeton and had a degree in creative writing, and so she was helping me with my record label stuff. And so
Mhm.
when I was writing the book, she said, "What you doing writing a book before me? And I'm a creative writing major out of Princeton, and you were engineer, and you writing a book before me." So she said, "Well, I want to see what you write." So she kind of helped me with the first 3 chapters.
Okay.
So she was the first one that kind of helped me with the first 3 chapters. And I mean, it's like just like bloody red everywhere. And then I cleaned that up, and then it's bloody red again. I say, well, how's it again? She said, well, I after I cleaned it up, now I was able to see this, and so
Right.
we went through that. So she helped me get really the first 3 chapters done. So then, and I worked with some different people who helped me, but I didn't go to the professional editing process until I got ready to publish.
Gotcha.
And after, like I said, by that time I had done like 21 rewrites. And so then that's when I went to the professional, when I say, okay, I think I did as much as I could do. And
Mhm.
so now let's take it to the next stage. So, but I didn't do that until I got ready to publish.
Okay. And when you actually published, did you go with a traditional publisher or did you self-publish?
I self-published.
Okay. And who did the artwork for your cover?
It was my project manager. I went through this company called Ace Book Writers, and my project manager, he and I sat down and went through and did this together. I gave him the concepts, and he actually did the illustration. And then he would come back with something. I say, that's not quite what I'm looking for, So then I'd send him a picture, I said, now capture this, and then he said, okay, I got it. And then I come back and then I say, okay, I sent him another picture. I say, okay, capture this, so we kind of went back and forth, and it came out well. We worked well together, but they actually did it because the illustration was part of the contract that I signed, but I just had to give them direction.
Gotcha.
So that's how
Wow.
it was generated.
So amazing. So, and then your book hits, and the next thing you know, boom, family, friends, everybody. Is it wherever books are sold? Are you selling it on your website? Like, where can we find your book?
Okay, yeah. So right now, that part of my contract is doing the website. So we got the website being built now. I'm getting ready to. Then we got a contract with them where they're trying to set me up to get into all of the electronic platforms. So we're working on that right now, Amazon, so forth. And basically, I kind of held up. This should have been done 3 weeks ago, but when I had to read those terms and conditions, I'm saying, I don't like all this what I'm reading, all these terms and conditions. So I'm so used to the record industry, right?
Right.
And contracts like that. And I say, man, I wouldn't sign a contract like that, and like they can change your book cover and they can do this and that. And so I've been kind of slow rolling it, just because I'm uncomfortable with that. But I've had a few conversations with people, and it's like, look, you're gonna have to do this. Amazon, for example, they the biggest distributor in the world. You have to do it. You have to, you're a first time author. You got to take that,
Right.
So anyway, I'm about ready to do it now, so that's happening. But then, like I said, we're also going to be selling through my website, and that's just about 90% complete. So that should be ready to go next week. And but what I've been doing is I did some pre-release where I've gone to areas where I'm known. So I went to, LA, where I went to college, and I did a function there. Then I went to my hometown of Vallejo. I did a function there. I went to Las Vegas because I got people there. And then I did one actually in Smyrna, Georgia in June.
Oh, okay.
And I did that, in the Atlanta area, Smyrna, in June. So that's kind of what I've been doing right now.
Okay.
And
Well, let me say this, because, me being a writer, I can tell you that when you go back to the places that you're familiar with and get that support first, word of mouth is the most powerful tool to sell a book.
Okay.
Everybody wants to put money into marketing, but I'm a living witness that when I went back to the areas where I actually knew a lot of people, they pushed my book so far. It's unbelievable how far a book can go just from family and friends.
Right. Yeah. And I've experienced that because I created a little promo card of how to get it from me and give it to people. So I've already sold probably maybe just 50 to 60 books that way, just by mailing them out, because they contacted me because they knew how to get to me.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to give out free stuff, just
Done
for
that as well. Yep.
Yeah, good. Well, if you ever want to know any book tips, I do publishing and all that too. I'm just putting hint, just putting this side thing in there. So that way, if you needed some help with self-publishing or anything like that. But the world of books is wonderful. So if tell them your website's not up, so we can't tell them the website.
Yeah, we can. I think it's what is it? VEEKAY Enterprises LLC.com.
Okay, and repeat that again. So
So VK, so it's VEEV and then KAYK Enterprises LLC.com.
Awesome. And give them the name of the book again.
Why Didn't We Love?
Why Didn't We Love? And KK is in the midst.
Yeah. Let me walk upstairs and see if my son has his book
Okay.
over here.
Yeah.
Because I got mine in the car.
Okay.
And I didn't bring it in, so I don't know if he had it, if it's over here on his bookshelf or not.
All right. We would love to see it.
Don't see it there. So, yeah, it's outside.
Okay, but that's okay. I'm sure at the end of
I
the
apologize.
Oh, no, you're fine. At the end of the program, I want you to go ahead and give that name about 2 or 3 more times so that way people can look it up and go to your website. But I'm so very proud of you, and I'm so glad that you have written your story. I know for one thing that only 3% of African Americans that write books actually publish. So kudos to you for publishing your book and getting it out there and doing the things that you do. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience before we end the show?
No, just to look for it. It's coming. And so why didn't we love? Why didn't we love?
Why didn't we
Roderick
love?
Vaughn King.
All right,
So
Mr. King.
it's coming. So, and like I said, and I've been fortunate enough to do some interviews and podcasts and things like that as well as I'm building toward getting the website formally released.
Awesome. So you can reach him on his website. Give me your email address because sometimes people order books through email addresses as well.
Right. VEEKAY027 at AOL.com.
Awesome sauce. I thank you so much for being on my show today. This has been a pleasure meeting you and talking about your books. I'm so interested in reading it myself. I'm going to go out and get me a copy and support you. I love supporting authors because that's what I do. I'm interested in seeing what this KK got going on. I don't know somebody name, but
yeah.
To all of you out there in La La Land, TV Land, Roku Land, and all the other lands, say goodbye to Mr. Roderick Vaughn King. Say goodbye to him.
Goodbye.
Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I wish everyone the best. Go out and get his book. Tell him one more time.
Why Didn't We Love?
Why Didn't We Love? Awesome. All right. See you.
Okay.